Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to Jagged Alliance 2. In this episode, we got a little bit of old, a little bit of new, nothing really all that borrowed or all that blue though. Basically, as you can see here, I've retaken half of Baleem. Baleem fell due to giant marching death squads launched by the Queen as I had moved up here to Alma. And I have gotten kind of the B team down here where they have retaken it with the help of some handy dandy mobile militia who happen to be sort of roaming by. And then I split up Squad 2, sending some of them north. And the reason for that is up here we have something new to see. And I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with this. And because people seem to generally respond to the idea of watching me like defend a sector as being, you know, stuff that would be fine. Apparently, my color commentary is not the absolute worst thing in the world, and so maybe we'll watch the second half of Baleem kind of get retaken after we finish up here in Omerta. Now, of course, the mobile militia have kind of wandered with us. There's some good AI that I actually kind of enjoy. You can't really control the mobile militia, like you can't tell them, hey, go here. But if you're moving mercs around, they will tend to stay with you. And that's kind of what they've done here, is these guys march north. They came with us, and they're hanging out now in Omerta as well. Now, we have taken a total of 5 cities now. And with that, it is time that we revisited the rebels that were originally sent here to kind of link up with. Now, I don't really have any great... Oh, actually, I do. Conrad. I was about to say, I don't really have any great leadership characters with me, but I do. I don't think it'll matter too much, though, as I think this...
I'm more like a small princess, partner. I need a wide open range.
I'm sorry, Tex. It won't be long, I promise. I don't really think we need high leadership here, as this is pretty much just a guaranteed kind of scripted thing. We're going to come back and talk to Miguel, the leader of the rebels.
You are well?
We are well.
With 5 villages liberated, I feel confident that the people of the countryside are free from her tyranny. Carlos and I are available to join with your group now.
Awesome. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and recruit these guys.
Yes. It is time to unite as one force. Together, we will witness victory.
Awesome. Now, we'll go ahead and do the same with Carlos.
What can I do for you? Almost half the country is ours, but we still have much work to do. I am impressed with your leadership. I will join because it is best for Arulco.
Now, Miguel and Carlos are good.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. We'll check these guys out just briefly here. Miguel starts as level 6. Carlos starts as level 5. Good all-around stats, right? Like 98 leadership. Great wisdom, so he'd have incredible stat growth. Everything in his physical stuff is good. 85 marksmanship is good. It doesn't really do much as far as mechanical, explosive, or medical, but, you know, oh well, right? And also, what is he? He is a deputy, so he's getting like leadership kind of combat bonuses to your other characters, melee and night ops, which is totally very solid. Comes with some night vision goggles. And Carlos here, his marksmanship is actually a lot lower than I remember it, but you know, solid stats, good level, good wisdom, so decent enough stat growth. Throwing, stealthy, scouting, awesome. Yeah, totally solid stuff. The problem is I don't really feel like their stuff has been all that worked over with 1.13. That might be something somebody should consider someday, but these are fine pieces of equipment for the base game. You know, he comes in with an AKM, he comes in with a Ruger Mini 14. They're good, but by the time you've liberated 5 cities and you're coming back for these guys, they're just sort of okay. We've got a lot better, but I'm happy to have them along. Don't get me wrong. We'll certainly make some use of them. We're gonna go ahead then and get out of here. And once we can get up to the top, we'll just pop back into the map screen and start wandering around. I actually tried to come here to be in that sector with a vehicle. That didn't work out too well. There we go. I ran out of gas in this sector, which made me real sad. So this first part of the trip was very quick. It blazed up through here, and then we puttered to a stop. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to get back. I didn't look everywhere, but here's my item view. I checked around in the general area for like a gas can that might have somehow ended up there. Did not find one, and don't feel like spending too much more time looking. So that means that these guys are not going to come back for the second half of Balim like they were there for the first. This squad 3 right now, like they were there when I originally assaulted this. They're not going to be there for the second run, but I believe this squad 2 is decent enough combined with the mobile militia. I actually may want to give them an opportunity to rest just a little bit. Some of them are a bit exhausted on energy bar type stuff. Had a couple of injuries, like Spider here was working as a doctor for a little while. So I'm going to give them just a couple of hours, probably maybe like 8 a.m. to rest.
Okay, that's it for this job. Anything else?
And we'll keep going with militia in the Grum sector. And where are we at 8 a.m.? Everybody looking decent enough? Yeah, I think that's enough to be just fine. And it's just become daylight, which is actually okay, because I feel like I've got a lot of fairly long-range weapons with this group.
The sector's occupied by saps, Ace. Maybe we should fire off a couple of rounds just to let them know they're gonna die.
And of course, we'll go ahead and pop in. We're bringing the mobile militia with us for a little bit of extra oomph. Things in Balim did not go super well when I originally took this, so hopefully we don't encounter any kind of resistance.
Here comes trouble.
Like that this time. Of course, right away, at least the militia got the first turn. It would have been great if our mercs would have gone first, but if given the chance between the enemy and our AI friendlies here, I think I'd choose them. Oh boy. Okay, the elite worries me just a little bit. For those of you who did not see the first sector of Balim, everything went pretty smoothly there until the end, where some dug-in troops, basically in this house, there's only 3 houses in the entire sector, so this southern house here, there were people inside it, and just, man, trying to get through the door was very brutal. We had one of our mercs kind of get hit walking in, and it sapped all his AP, so nobody else could really push past him. Following that up with a bad decision on my part, which was I tried to kind of push forward. I thought that I knew how many people were inside, and that I would be able to run in, and since they had all just finished shooting, like, backing off didn't seem like the greatest decision for me to make there. And it turned out that there were more guys in there than I originally thought.
I'm listening.
And that led to a little bit more firepower than I originally anticipated. And let's just say not everybody came out of that one alive. Okay. And with this, Raven, you do have a shot and barely enough AP for it. No, not quite. Okay.
I'm listening.
I'd also like to go ahead and get scope sighted, because, yeah, with the scope, I imagine she would probably be able to spot some stuff, even though she's not going to be able to shoot at it just yet. Let's go and get Vicky up here as well, and Spider, and Hitman. Have you turn and face that way for me. Thank you very much, and we'll see wow, what the resistance looks like. Okay, it's probably worth it for any AP damage we could do to these guys by maybe whizzing a bullet by them. Wow, those were some really terrible shots. I am disappointed.
Enemy
course,
detected.
On the radio. Always on the radio.
Enemy detected.
I knew these guys were there. Like, we saw them
Assistance
already.
would be welcome.
Okay, that one, he's new. I get it. Hopefully if these guys just have kind of normal range weapons, we'll be able to pick them off before they pose any real threat. And of course, any of the combat turns with lots of our own militia moving around are a little bit slower than I'd like. Okay. So, speaking of our friendly militia, when I was in Iraq, we actually had the opportunity to...
Spider-Woman! I'm listening.
Train and fight beside the Iraqi security forces that were kind of being created in the country at that time. The ISF forces actually they cohabitated on the firm base that we were on. They had their own sort of separate section with a separate dining hall. There was, it wasn't segregation for any like real reason, but they didn't speak the greatest of English, and we didn't speak the greatest of Arabic. So in some ways, they kind of kept to themselves. We would play a lot of like soccer to just sort of hang out when we weren't doing anything else. So like those kind of sports type activities where we didn't really need to talk to each other, but we could still kind of do some bonding there.
Brilliant!
And
yeah, man.
we spent a lot of time with training for those guys, like several months before we really felt super ready for them to come out with us. Keeping in mind, of course, that most of these guys were former military of some type, so it's not like we were introducing them to wholly new concepts, but we were showing them new weapons and new tactics and just going through a lot of practicing. And we finally did get them out. We would again, we were not training them really to integrate with U.S. forces or to fight alongside of us. We were training them to be their own self-sufficient and autonomous fighting force. So they would usually be like an element of a combat operation, like some kind of piece of that pie. They would be clearing, a certain flank, or they would be providing a certain function that would be wholly autonomous. And it limited the amount of communication that we had to have through them, so that language barriers didn't cause any sort of communication breakdown in combat. We of course had interpreters. Nice. That were with us, that we would use both to communicate with the Iraqi security forces as well as the Iraqi people. And then usually like their captain and like one of their sergeants spoke pretty good English, and we could always talk to one of them if we needed to.
I'm listening.
And he could get his point across pretty easily. All right, that should be fine for the turn. They're still pretty far out, so I'm not too worried about a reprisal.
Yeah, man.
Okay, and Vicky, what do you got for me? Not anything I probably want to take here. With the no chance to hit, I'm actually just going to let that go. No.
I don't like how quiet it is, I'll be telling ya. It's like being in the eye of a hurricane, don't you know?
Okay. I don't know about that, but okay. And nothing out of our enemy. Okay. So certainly some guys off screen that we cannot see right now, as that was way too long for just two guys to have moved. But our militia is pushing up real aggressive like, so that's totally fine. Yeah, all in all, it was a good experience. It was interesting. They were very enthusiastic about the idea of sort of getting Iraq back into a stable and protected country. I don't really want to get into too much politics on whether or not that succeeded, but the individual people that I met were a lot of good people that really only wanted what was best for them or their families, that sort of thing. Okay. And
I'm listening.
Scope. Can you do maybe a little bit better? Yeah, you can. Alright. This is why you should have gone prone, like your friend
Brilliant.
here. He was clearly the brains of the operation. Okay, 2 sniper rifles. We're doing some pretty good work here. So, he might disagree with us, but otherwise we're doing some pretty good work here. Also had some interesting thoughts the other day concerning my my deployment. In some ways, the reminiscing that I've done here has maybe like just think more about that time in my life than I have in a while, which isn't, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just some of the anecdotes and things like that. I am mostly just thinking up on the fly, and there are days when I'm like, man, I should really like remember some stories to tell so that the next time I record a video, I don't have to make things up then. And kind of speaking of common thematic elements that were present throughout my entire time in Iraq, such as the ISF.
Ready.
One of the other things that I always found just a little bit on the lighter side is for, oh my god, are you kidding me? There's no way that's gonna hit. I'm gonna save those AP for another turn.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And Vicky, you got nothing. You know what? We're not gonna hit anything back here. We're in kind of a fire without movement is pointless scenario. The inverse of that.
Are you quite sure you want me to try to hit that target from here?
Movement without fire is suicide, but you gotta combine them. So you know what? Let's send all of our guys
Righto.
flanking left. It's their left, by the way, in case you're curious how that works out.
Ready.
And again, she's not going to have enough to hit anything back there. No, didn't think so. I'm going to leave Raven in place. She actually has some shots along this angle. Oh, that is a sniper. You'll see right here, pops up, sniper, exclamation point. And that shot came out of nowhere and just leveled him. Lovely. So yeah, common thematic elements. The entire deployment that I did, all of our operations were knife themed because, I don't know, I like the idea that somewhere along the chain of command there's like a general or something that's a very high ranking officer and therefore allowed to be making these decisions. And this guy is just like, yeah, why don't we call this one Switchblade and that one Bowie, and this will be Shank. Like, those are actual operations that I participated in. And way more knife-related things that I would have ever thought possible is basically how the entire deployment went. And we weren't alone in that. Like, this was not a novel concept at all. We were
I'm listening.
joined in the city by an army brigade, I think is the size of element that they were. And that brigade had its own operations that were separate from us most of the time. Sometimes, again, we would work together, but generally we used different tactics, equipment, people, comms, and they would be a bit segregated from us. And they had, I believe, sports teams were all of their operations in that city. So there would be like Operation Rams and Operation Bruins and things like that were used throughout. I only really remember a couple of the op names there, but honestly, I think Switchblade sounds quite a bit cooler, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like the idea that somebody out there is making far more money than me as like a high-ranking military officer, and one of his tasks is just sitting around, and when they're like, what should the next operation be called? He goes, Operation Switchblade. And they're like, yes, sir. And there you go. That's how we get them. Okay. There we go.
Enemy detected.
On the topic of some of
More
those operations.
scoundrels.
All right. Hopefully nothing exciting happens here. We are a little close to those guys, but I think that militiaman would end up being the target of any of their aggression.
More scoundrels.
And okay.
More scoundrels.
All right, these scoundrels really need to make up their idea. Make up their mind about what they intend to do here.
Enemy detected.
Okay, that's fine too.
More scoundrels.
Most of those operation names you would probably be able to find no real information about, but one of them received actually quite a bit of press coverage.
Life.
And here is an example of
Low life.
the problem with Wikipedia. If you're ever in a class, you know, high school, college, it doesn't matter.
Scoundrels.
Whether or not you can use Wikipedia as a source is always an interesting concept. And
I'm in over my head here, man.
I think you're going to be fine. They are pushing up quite a bit, but I think our militia are going to be coming in to join us on their turn. Yeah, things will be fine. Totally fine. So, Wikipedia as a source, right? Anybody can change any of the things on it. But it's interesting because, like other sources, like primary sources that you would use when researching, can also be just as wrong. So most of those operations that I just mentioned, you're probably going to find no information on anywhere if you try to like look.
I'm listening.
And it's not because they were crazy super secret. They just aren't that interesting to anybody. They weren't really that important in the grand scheme of the combat operations we were having there. Some of them were just kind of minor things that we were doing. But one of them you actually can find a lot of reports on. Like,
I'm listening.
You should be able to find it like on Wikipedia. Maybe not like on its own giant article or anything, but it'll be in some like list of operations in this city in this time zone. I don't know, something. It's there somewhere, I'm sure.
He's clear.
And of course, the Wikipedia page cites other sources for the operation and what happened during it. And they're, you know, super reputable sources, right? Like they're major media, news outlets, Associated Press, all of that stuff. But interestingly, that operation never actually took place. Like it did, but it didn't. Like it basically got canceled. But the reports of it just they still happened. You know, the press release was out, and so the story was there, and the story was totally run with. But it didn't happen. It was just a thing that was planned, but then got canceled. And that was Operation Shank, by the way. I think I've actually failed to mention the name. Operation Shank was supposed to be this really big sweep through the city. And when I mentioned earlier, that the press release was out, at times kind of sadly, that's actually not far from the truth. The militaries are sending information, back to the media because even though you're going to see some like media reporter people like embedded with units, they're not going out there to see all that much, all that often.
Ace. Got a sap. Damn.
They might be
detected.
They might have been in country, but given the opportunity, they're going to be staying back at a lot of bases and not really out there on the front lines. And so the reports of what Operation Shank was were released, and we had trained for this and geared for this and intel briefs and you name it, and for way too long. And we were prepping for Operation Shank to roll out, sitting in our forward operating base. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, local time, eating breakfast, and we have cable news there. We have a satellite television. And so in the Chow Hall, satellite television is turned to CNN, of all things. And on CNN, what do we see but reports of Operation Shank? And they had... I don't have enough... Ooh, I do have enough AP to hit that. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing I would like. 5, it's something.
Yeah, man.
Vicky. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Not too bad. Okay.
I'm listening.
Scope. Scope, what are you looking at? Hold on. What? That guy, that guy, that guy. It's weird what you are seeing right now. But anyway. Let's turn you a little bit to your left. Too bad.
See?
Vamos. You have any shots anywhere? You do have a scope. We'll sight you in. See what that changes. Very little, considering my aim chance is so low. Let's go for this guy. Since he's not the elite, I figure his chances of dodging are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But that does not play out that way. And Hitman. Nice. Doubly nice.
Yes.
So nice. We tried it twice. Let's go here. Good, and that allows us to see him. Oh, too bad. All right, and that's going to do it for our turn. Yeah, so, you know, on the news, on the CNNs, they were reporting on Operation Shank, but they were reporting on it, you know, like it had already happened. And because it's CNN, there were, like, fancy infographics and, like, overlays of the city with colored arrows sweeping across the town, showing exactly what we were going to be doing in about 2 hours. Now, if you were in my position at that time, you might be a little bit concerned about that, because they literally showed the
Biscuits.
the routes that we were coming from, and you know, the units, like not the individual units, but the like size of the forces that would be coming down this road, and you know, around this side, and encapsulating this part of the city, and et cetera, et cetera. And the reaction from the military command was swift and decisive. The immediate response was like, the ops off. Just no, we're not going out into that, because we had satellite TV, and so did everybody else there. So if we were watching what was effectively our battle plan on TV, so were the people that we were about to be raiding the houses of, and that's not a great element of surprise for anybody. So the immediate response was we canceled the op. The then later response was Operation Shank became something much less than it was going to be. Instead of this large sweeping op across the entire city that was supposed to last most of the day, at like 3 in the afternoon, we went out and did some vehicle checks. And we did some snaps, which are basically just driving along and pulling over cars that match the BOLO reports. Be on the lookout. That's we have acronyms for everything, right? That is a BOLO. And so, you know, we would go out and wrap up cars that match those types of things, pull them over, and search vehicles, that sort of stuff. We would set up temporary checkpoints, search vehicles. We did that for a few hours, and like across the city, and that became Operation Shank. But we didn't go raiding any of the houses or any of the areas of the city that we were sort of planning on pushing out into. All because the the news sort of
Yeah, man.
blew the element of surprise for us there. What I find funny about it all, like looking back now, is you can still find all those reports. Like if you're doing research on things that happened during the war, like you find all of that stuff and it's reported as though it occurred, but it didn't, you know, and it trickles down, and the Wikipedia page has the same reports cited as sources, and yeah. And I, of course, I am an unreliable source in all of that, right? Like, I do not... Ooh, that's actually kind of right into it, sort of right next to Raven. If he can throw a grenade that far, it wouldn't be unheard of for him to throw it at her. So anyway, you know, I'm not CNN or the Associated Press, so believe what you will, take it with a grain of salt here. But I assure you, I was there, and that's what happened. You know, but that's never going to be the reality of the history book, and it doesn't matter. You know, this is my global conspiracy story, of course, and it's meaningless, like in the grand scheme of things. It's not like anybody was hiding anything.
Yeah, man.
Probably an honest mistake.
Listening.
I'm sure. I never got an official answer. Never cared for one. But I'm sure, you know,
Require reloading.
somebody somewhere was provided with a like a timeline of the day, and I don't know. There's a lot of time zones across the globe, and maybe they didn't quite understand when daylight savings time started somewhere, and so he's down to hollow points. That's not a necessarily great thing. You know, somebody didn't understand when daylight savings time started, and so they were off by a couple of hours. And before you know it, they're like, "Yeah, this is happening now," and except it was supposed to be happening in just a couple of hours away.
Very bad.
And so I view it as all just sort of an innocent thing, and you know, it didn't cost any lives. But sometimes I will tell that as the story of the time that CNN tried to get me killed. But you know, nobody was really injured because of it. But it makes me question sometimes. You know, you go through that, and then you'll be sitting in your history class someday when you get out of the military and you go to college, and people will be not enough AP. People will be telling you about things that happened, and you're like, I mean, is this really what happened? Like, I get that you have dozens of reported sources, but like they can be wrong. And not even because of anybody wanting to lie, just because. And I always find that as kind of an interesting... wow. It looks like Spider has gotten a little pinned down. Is she looking right now? Doesn't look like it. Okay, we do have better vision if we just do that. Let's try this. Yeah. Lovely lady. You know, that's not even... anybody trying to lie about anything. Wow. I will say there are a lot more guys in this sector than I was expecting. Like, I thought the density of enemies that we were initially encountering was just like one guy here, one guy there. Let's just push in, round this up. There are a lot more enemies in here than I was initially expecting. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me, though. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. 'Cause I feel like most of the enemy... well, look at that. Healthy, strong. A lot of the guys down here, I think, are hurt. And maybe only a shot or two from dying. And so that's something that we can maybe clean up a little bit quicker and then get up there to help these guys out. And our own militia aren't dropping like flies either. That is always a concern, is that...
I'm listening.
You know, the enemy starts popping out like snipers, and they're just wasting militiamen every turn. That doesn't really seem to be happening, which is good, if that wasn't obvious. Yeah. And so I could see us totally doing okay here. Yeah, like, we're just picking off a guy every couple of shots. Things will be a-okay before you know it. I'm actually going to move Raven... Be like up against the tree and down. Give her a little bit of kind of cover from incoming fire there, and because she's got a sniper rifle, and we don't have, like, we could lose this flank to these guys pretty easily, and they could come in here, and that wouldn't be great. So Raven should be able to hold that on her own. Vicky, what do you see?
I got no more bullets in my gun.
You see that your gun got a little light. This actually sounds like a perfect time for some match grade ammo. And we'll sight back in for next turn.
I'm listening.
Scope, you too. Perfect. Less perfect.
See?
And who's? I'm not hoping for great things here, buddy. I was hoping for a little bit more than just shooting the ground directly in front of you, though. Alright. Well, it's gonna move on. Oh, boy. Ooh, that's not so great. Yeah, that's basically does it for my my story of the time that CNN tried to kill me. In this instance, more the story of just how a world away, the news can get things wrong, you know, and then they end up as, of course, like, the news is the source, and I don't even know what it would take to convince people otherwise, or to override the version of events that has already kind of been reported. It's likely never going to happen. The interestingly, there I don't think this has ever, like, happened. I think it kind of stalled, but there was a documentary series kind of thing, or I don't know, maybe series is the wrong word. There was some documentary project effort, what have you.
Cheerio! Come on.
You're killing it. That was being conducted, not
ready
of me, mind you, but of the battalion that I was with a year or two after I was with them. And they were largely discussing their next deployment, which just so happened to be back to Iraq, to the exact same city, which is not super common that you would have a unit like in the exact same place 2 rotations in a row. I don't really see Spider getting much done, but you know, we'll throw some volume of ammunition out there. So that wasn't super common, and they were
as close as
in a lot of ways discussing
I'm getting a lot of attention.
The parallels between that first and that second deployment to the city, as well as how much things have changed, what was and wasn't different, the political climate, how things have shifted, Umbar awakening, all kinds of things that are probably a little bit too heady for video game talk. But that documentary, although I think it's stalled, like, I don't think it ever got produced, but the fairly interesting thing, I'm sorry, buddy, you're just wrong place, wrong time. The fairly interesting thing about it is, at least at one point in time,
ready.
Man, I didn't even notice Raven get shot. I'm a terrible commander. At least at one point in time, the like raw, unedited footage.
That impression of Raven was right on the money.
Yeah, it was. Of all of these Marines back in the U.S. Most, or a lot, maybe not most, but a lot of them were done, you know, back at the 29 Palms, California, the military base that battalion is from. But some of them were being done, like, from these people's homes, and because they too had now gotten out of the military and were being interviewed about things that had happened a few years before. But within that documentary footage, like, there's a lot of discussion about the deployment that I was on, and it was just very interesting to watch. It's been years since I've seen any of that, so whether or not it is still on YouTube, I have no idea. But it was, and I feel like it wasn't intended to be there for like anybody to really watch it. It was intended to be there for maybe storage, maybe like I'll put this online, like in case that sort of thing. Because they're all just like, they don't have, the videos didn't have titles. They were just like long strings of numbers with like, you know, maybe the date or something. Like it was a coherent string of numbers, but not anything you would expect to be searching for or finding. Yeah, I don't know if that stuff is still up. You might be able to find by searching for like 37 Lima or 37 Lima interviews or something like that. As I believe that's maybe how I found it. I think I was.
I'm listening.
A few years back, like I was searching to see if there had been,
Brilliant.
you know, maybe any footage uploaded by anybody that was shooting video while I was there, like any of the guys that I was with or anything like that. I know there actually were videos taken.
Problem solved.
By a couple of the guys there, and I saw the videos like in person on their cameras, and so, you know, maybe like someday they'll throw in all that stuff on YouTube, or I'll run across it on the internet somewhere. And I think that's what I was kind of
Burned up
looking around
ammo,
at the
Ace.
time that I discovered the documentary footage, and it was like really very interesting.
I need bullets immediately.
Oh, man, that's so awful that was our last shot. I misclicked. I meant to aim all the way in, and it did not happen for me. Now let's sight back in for next turn.
Yeah, man.
Vicky, you got anything? No. Look how much we've turned that around, right? Like, there's one strong guy back here. He's dying. 3 guys dead up here. This should be over in pretty much no time, except for that guy suddenly got really accurate. Alright. He's going to get a lot less accurate now that the militia has put a few bullets into him. One of the things I really like about the game is the way it models the action points. This is not in the original game. The original game's action point system was on a completely different scale. It was a 1 to 25 point thing instead of like a 100% kind of scale. But 2, the suppression system in the original game just didn't work. Like, if I understand it correctly,
A fine weapon.
you can only get suppressed once, and I originally thought that meant like once in
I'm
a
listening.
particular battle, you know, like in a combat or something. But I have since been corrected that meant like per character, like period, like the first time that Scope ever took suppression fire, like that's the only time Scope could ever take suppression fire. And clearly that was not intended. The suppression modifications that have happened in the 1.13 patch are really great. I like the way that it models. Ooh, somebody decided to get a little crafty and swing way down here. Oh man.
Low life.
Oh, actually, a couple guys decided to be crafty. All right. Well, we've got Scope right over here. I think she should be able to do some good work. But yeah, the modeling of suppression in the game.
Yeah, man. I'm listening.
I think it does an excellent job. I really like the idea that even though this is a video game and it's supposed to be fun, I like the way that you're never gonna have oh man, like one of your characters just sort of
Yeah, man.
take on, 20 guys and come out on top of that. And that's because of the suppression system. Without the suppression system, none of that works anymore. It becomes impossible.
We's clear.
It becomes possible, rather, to be that one-man army. You can be a guy with a fully automatic weapon, just hanging out and mowing people down, and it's cool. It's video gamey. I'll give it that much, but it's not. Let's actually get Spider up here to maybe patch up Raven. Now that I think she is done shooting fish in a barrel, we'll turn her this way. See if she can. She see anybody? 4. Okay. A lot poorer now. Okay. Great. Spider should be able to start first aid next turn, and then let's get a moose over here too.
Ready.
Okay. Once the suppression system is kind of working as intended,
Freaking lucky.
what that leads to is, if you're one guy taking fire from 12 guys, you don't get to shoot back anymore. You get to be pinned down, even if the attacks aren't hitting you. The volume of fire sort of going over your head is just too much. And likewise, I like the idea. You're going to see it, a lot of times where there's a shot that this shot's not going to hit. This shot doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no reason that you just throw away ammo like that. Like maybe that shot. Maybe I don't. In the old system and in a pure video game setting, maybe you don't take that second shot. You don't have enough AP to fully aim it. It doesn't make sense. It's just a waste of resources. But I'll tell you straight up, like, if you're shooting at somebody, that shot comes out. Like that's a shot that you're gonna take every time. Maybe you aim in, and then as soon as you take the first shot, you're not gonna wait for the recoil to subside, and you pop off another one right after it.
Yes.
Because you making loud banging sounds come out of your gun and at the enemy, that's stuff that makes them not shoot back at you. And that's really important for maybe a whole lot of super obvious reasons. That you don't want them popping up all the time, that you don't want them able to return fire constantly. And so you're going to shoot sometimes just to shoot, in the general vicinity of that man-shaped object. And anybody that wants to lecture me on weapon safety rules and, like, never firing your weapon at that which you don't intend to hit and knowing your target and whatnot. No, I'm sorry, man, but covering fire is a real thing, and it's coming out of guns in real combat zones all the time. Nice. And so
I'm listening.
I think this game actually does like a really excellent job of modeling that. That it's still worthwhile to take these junk shots. If say Scope is going to hit every turn, she gets one shot every turn and it hits this guy, but like none of the others do hit him. But what does it mean for us to fire 4 more bullets that track within at least 3 squares of him? He's losing a little bit of AP every time one of these bullets goes past, and that is enough to matter. Maybe it means the difference between him shooting back at us once per turn and twice per turn. Maybe it makes the difference between him shooting back at us once every other turn. There's something to be gained from doing this, certainly. Beautiful.
Thumbs up.
And him, he's still strong. Raven should be able to sort that out, though.
Bummer.
Yep, that's the guy. Ooh.
Enemy detected.
Where did he shoot? Is that where that bullet came from?
Ready.
All right. Raven. why don't you start introducing him to your sniper rifle.
I'm listening.
Scope. Why don't you sort? Oh man, that's not as much damage as it needs to be. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Who sees him? Is it just Scope?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I believe it is
Ready.
just Scope. Okay, well that's fine. That's not super great. That's not super great either. Try a couple more of these and... Wow. Moose, you gotta adjust some elevation on your rifle, man.
Yeah?
You're hitting the dirt like way too often. I doubt Spider has any shot from way back here. She actually does see this guy. That is probably a throwaway shot though. Like,
I am being fired upon.
Freaking lucky.
and look at
Luck
that,
was
like,
with me.
you know, that kind of stuff, like these fully automatic bursts coming out, even not hitting people. We've got several characters that are starting this round with negative action points and taking that penalty, which is just a very cool modeled system. I'm totally down with that.
Ready.
All right, Raven, what do you got? This guy's going down this turn. Awesome.
Problem
I'm
solved.
gonna swing you around this way. Really? Spider.
Yeah?
Okay, so Spider saw this guy last turn. He's got to have gone back into the terrifying
I'm listening.
building Odeth that we lost characters in the last time we were on this map. Oh, and now we see this guy. What do we see of him, though? You'll notice, if you're not familiar, the aiming reticle is black on the leg and torso. It turns red for the head. All I can see from my current angle is this guy's head.
Yeah, man.
So if I want to take the other shots, they have effectively no chance to hit. Theoretically, you can shoot through objects.
Yeah,
Like
man.
the building is not made of titanium or anything. It is possible that the bullet travels through it and actually hits him. Let's just say it's a little unlikely. I'll take that shot. All right.
Yeah.
Hitman, you actually got suppressed by him. Can you see him? You actually can't even see him. Okay. Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
I will take that. When do we get Spider coming up to the building? Ooh, that's a lot of loot. I like it. I don't exactly like... I feel like our militia have gotten maybe a lot less aggressive. Oh,
Can't dodge this forever.
that's not so great. It also causes things like that where running Spider out there can be extremely deadly because she's probably not going to have the AP necessary to get back.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
I'm listening.
Scope, you need to wrap this guy up. We've been doing like way too little damage to him.
Brilliant.
And then let's go back into the kneeling. Check this way. Don't see this guy. Oh, she's got like a very narrow slice through those windows. No wonder.
Ready.
Raven, what do you have from here? He is wounded. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, he's critical.
Yeah.
Spider, you don't have enough AP to go prone? I am surprised. Okay. Gonna push Hitman up to here. Vicky,
Yeah, man.
you do something similar. Come up right behind him. Almost. Let's just sight you back in. Nothing. Okay.
Antagonist.
We've got at least 3 guys that we know about. One up here, one kind of in the middle here that's severely injured, and then this window popper down here.
Ooh, I'm bleeding. At least I'm up on my tetanus.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Wow, that is surprisingly accurate
Ready.
fire. What can you do from here? Probably a lot. This is why you always bring Overwatch. Alright. We do not know where this guy went. Like, he kind of disappeared on me. What I'm thinking then...
Yeah, man.
We're gonna get, like, up to the edge, but we're gonna wait.
See?
Probably just this turn. I'm gonna bring him this over here. But then... I think... I'm just gonna keep you guys more or less like this. You know what?
I'm listening.
Let's reposition scope. We'll bring her down for like a better angle in the future. I'm not super worried. She's far enough away that any fire coming her direction should be fairly inaccurate.
Caught some noise, eh?
I'm gonna let Hitman and Vicky save up some action points so that next turn they can run farther, jump higher, shoot better. I don't know. So that they can get like all the way down to the end of this, hopefully with a little bit of AP left.
I'm listening.
Okay, Scope, you're coming out first. I want you to just swing around
Biscuits.
so that you can spot that guy. That's exactly what your purpose was. And then bring Hitman up to like here. Oh, that's so good. I'm gonna have him go into the kneeling mostly so that Vicky can, excuse me, mostly so that Vicky can shoot over him with a couple of shots of her own. 32. Let's go a little bit aimed. I wanted to get the second shot, but maybe I paid for it both times.
Yes?
And Spider, time to put some of that medical knowledge to good use. Alright, and that guy took way too much fire to actually be able to return anything. So he's just pinned down, waiting to die. I would say Andy doesn't know it yet, but I mean, he knows it yet. He just had two guys run around the building and shoot him. Again, do the honors.
Be sure to write.
Oh, that's frightening. So that was supposed to be... Oh, crap. That's awful. Also, how did she get hit way out here?
I'm listening.
Okay. Well, I'm a little worried now. I don't have enough AP for him to even kneel. Oh, this is not good.
See?
I was about to say that was supposed to be the last enemy, and the fact that it wasn't the end of the mission is a little bit frightening. But then I got shot at by a shotgun.
Damn!
All right. Good news is he's real far away. Okay. I was a little bit worried if that guy was like right here with a shotgun, or like if he... There's really no angle for that he was inside this room, but if he'd been like right over here with that shotgun...
Antagonist.
Man, I swear, you don't learn from history, doomed to repeat it. More guys in this building than I originally gave it credit for.
I'm listening.
That's exactly what happened the last time I was here. So, oh wow, you don't have... Oh, so weird. Try to get you maybe over to here. Okay.
Got a sap.
And I refuse to learn my lesson. Alright, so there's at least 3 guys in there.
Yeah, man.
At least. Maybe more. We're gonna hang out for just a second, though. Oh my god. Let's just cool it. Just cool it. I kind of want to just... Oh man, that guy could... I'm amazed that he ran back inside, but I saw some horrible future state where he just killed 5 guys after throwing a stun grenade into the middle of them. Jesus. This house, man.
See?
It is cursed.
I'm listening.
Okay. I need to get you, like, a better angle on all this. There we go. You can see him. He's strong. Alright, we'll give it a turn. I don't really have enough to crouch anyway, so we'll give that a turn. I'm going to do something very similar with Raven. Move her up. Try to get some vision maybe through this window. into here, so we need to get her like right up to here, and that is quite a jog. But I'm not in a hurry. They'd probably prefer that I got there a little bit sooner than I am, but you know, it's everything I can do and more. Spider, you have a pretty good shot there, actually. Not good enough though. And then he interrupts our interrupt to run back inside. Okay.
I'm sure I just heard something.
I like that little just kind of lame toss.
Yes?
Okay. Let's just stick to the plan, right? Like, get Raven coming along up here.
I'm listening.
Scope. Let's see what you can do from the standing. I know it's not ideal.
Are you quite sure you want me to try to hit that target from here?
I'm worried with this little thing, the flower planting arrangement, that if I kneel, I won't be able to see anything. So let's take the torso shots on this guy that we've got. Not bad. And then we'll keep going. Let our militia bullet sponge for us for a little while.
Yes?
Okay. Again. Pretty decent shot. Thanks. Okay. He's dead. There's no way he has enough AP to get back inside. Wow. There were... Every time I get a new count of the people in this house, it just blows my mind.
Yes?
I'm listening.
And we have a better angle on you. Thank you.
Require reloading.
So much for repositioning, my friend. I'm actually going to switch. I don't have the AP to load those. Okay. Worth noting, this is not the kind of ammo that goes in here. Like, these are loose rounds for another kind of sniper rifle. I just happen to have some. They take more action points to load than the correct type of ammo, and so that is a little bit unfortunate, but I would kind of like a couple of shots of match grade ammo. I think the extra range bonus might actually help in this situation. All right. Look forward to killing you. Okay.
All right. Freaking lucky.
Oh, that could be so good, and it was not.
I am tuckered out.
Really?
I'm listening.
Scope, you're like standing and have been for several turns. It seems odd to me that you would suddenly be real tired. Meanwhile, Raven is injured and running across the map. All right, let's see what your angle looks like here. Really? Okay, I might be able to pull some interrupts out of that if guys go running through any of these squares. So I'm listening. I'm gonna call that good enough. Scope, let's get you sighted back in. Give it another turn. I'm basically smart enough, really. I just as I'm like, I'm smart enough too, then terrible things happen. Okay. Basically, I'm just refusing to take part in the massacre
Require reloading.
that our militiamen are currently encountering, because I've done it before. I've totally tried to take this through the front door and experience this exact bloodbath. Okay.
I'm listening.
More ammo. And I'm sorry that I've left you here so long, Hitman. I should probably not have done that. Actually, you have a pretty terrific shot from standing, though. Yes, that was awesome. Yeah, because stuff like that will just keep happening. Had
I'm listening.
the mustard gas maybe like worked out a little bit better, like if it had been thrown right here, I think that could have been amazing, but it was not, and so it was not. Throwing it into
I'm
the
listening.
room over here has basically accomplished nothing for us. And not bad.
Yeah.
Hitman, you want to take some revenge? You do. Love
Hot dog.
Hot dog. All right.
Yeah.
And man, scopes really
Ready.
tuckered out at this point. Okay. It's such a bad idea. Look at the number of our mobile militia that have been killed in that walkway.
Ready.
I need
Quite
some
staggering.
gauze. Yeah.
Hey man, why don't you patch yourself up? You've earned it. Okay, now
Yeah, man.
this is like, oh Vicky, you have so many grenades. Get
Sure.
in here. All right. What I would love to see is Vicky come up with some kind of angle
Yeah, man.
on throwing like right in here with like a stun grenade. Anything? I don't think that's enough. Okay. Maybe like I don't think that's enough. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe like there. I don't think that angle is good. Oh, we found it. Perfect. Okay. That actually might be huge for the sake of a bunch of guys who are dead up here. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
Ready.
We kind of need the ability to capitalize on that.
Bummer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Which we're going to get next turn. All right, I did not have to get in there. Never send a man where a bullet can go. All right.
More scoundrels.
Uh-oh. I was sort of hoping you were both standing right
Yeah.
next to each other. I'll tell the
Ready.
truth there. All right, Raven can sort that right out.
Yeah, man.
And then Vicky can do the same. Oh, it's not over. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, man.
Stop. Gotta breathe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Huh. I'm not loving this.
See?
Let's get over
Yeah.
here.
Me find it.
You got a lot of HP
See?
left. And that is your number
Okay.
one selling point to me right now, my friend. This is exactly how it happened last time. Alright. I didn't know where the enemy was. I went searching around. And it turns out there were like 6 of them
Me,
all
ready.
holed up in this house.
Ready.
And bad things
What's this?
proceeded to happen. You know what?
Yeah.
Spider, if you would actually be so kind as to like save the lives of some of these guys, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Yeah, he's in a critical condition. We just used our first aid there. Okay, you're gonna do the same thing. I'm actually not gonna perform
Ready.
surgery on you because you're not worth that many medical supplies to me. Okay, we're not seeing anything here.
What's this?
I actually can't go inside right now. Oh, that's unexpected. All right, last guy was way up top. But thankfully, we have a couple of militia
Ready.
that are far closer than I am to do something about it. And maybe Raven can lend a hand. He's been running all over the place lately. Oh man, several of them up there still. What? Please don't tell me that they got reinforced. That doesn't make any sense at all. There's no way. They had to have taken reinforcements coming in from the north. that maybe just arrived. All right, guys. I tell you what, this episode has turned out to be monstrously long. There's maybe even a possibility that I chop up this from previous stuff, but maybe not. Like an hour and a half, or an hour and like 10 minutes at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this here. We're going to conclude the introduction of a whole bunch of new enemy forces in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one, my ranting and rambling about all kinds of things today. If you did, feel free to subscribe for more of this in the future. And leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other videos. I'll catch you guys next time.